Hi folks, welcome to your latest mwis planning outlook in association with Ellis Brigham. Now we're into a decent spell of weather as we continue into the early stages of June. It's one that's not completely settled, but one where there's no real big weather systems coming our way. So we can't get rid of a few showers, a bit of rain now and again, and some low cloud coming in to western areas, particularly as southwesterly winds tend to prevail over the week ahead. But many places will also see a good amount of dry and bright weather, if anything just becoming a bit more humid and warmer as the week goes on. We're a little bit betwixt and between in terms of the air masses that are affecting the British Isles over the week ahead, whether it's coming in just from the North Atlantic and therefore slightly cooler and more showery air, or coming in more from the mid-Atlantic as a more classic tropical maritime, which will bring somewhat more humid conditions and greater amounts of low cloud. That's really the fluctuation over the next week or so. Saturday's chart is a day where it's a little bit more showery, particularly across west and northern Scotland, and just as this small trough moves through by the afternoon across the far north of the Highlands, the risk of one or two heavier showers, small chance of something thundery very locally. Across England and Wales, mainly a dry story, some low cloud which may just trouble some Irish Sea coastal hills, maybe a few spits and spots just coming on from time to time. Eastern areas all the way across Britain will typically fare the best for the driest and the brightest conditions right the way through. If anything, things are a little bit clearer in the west on Sunday as pressure builds a little bit and slightly lower humidity comes in. There is still the risk of one or two local showers breaking out. These on Sunday more likely by the afternoon in more eastern districts, so the eastern side of Scotland, perhaps some spots inland across the Lake District around the Pennines and across Snowdonia, but pretty well scattered. Pressure is high, it's not such an unstable story, so you'll be unlucky to catch a shower in these places. Some low cloud still drifting around some of the coastal hills at times, but also a good amount of sun and cloud breaks to many higher tops. Not really an isobar on the chart across the British Isles, so pretty light winds overall. Into Monday, and things are still moving around fairly slowly. Pressure stays fairly high, but we do just have the scope for a few areas of showers breaking out, and the indication would have these more across central parts of England, up into the Pennines, maybe East Wales as well. A bit difficult at this distance to get exactly that detail, but the risk of a few slow-moving heavier showers just lurking around through the day on Monday. Across Scotland, one or two showers may just break out, but many places staying dry and bright with some sunshine. Things still move around fairly slowly into Tuesday, maybe just getting a bit of a push again from the south-southwest. The breeze just strengthening a touch, particularly in western Scotland. One or two spits and spots around, the odd isolated shower, but many places again looking as though it's in for a dry story. A lower risk of showers for England and Wales by this stage. Some sunshine around, some low cloud around some western coastal hills. Again, best of the highest cloud, typically towards more eastern and northern districts. Temperatures just nudging up a little bit as well. Now that southwesterly wind is likely to strengthen a bit further into the middle of the week, still not quite getting high pressure to fully build northwards across us at this stage. So the risk of a windier day, particularly across Scottish mountains in the northwest, is likely to be where the strongest of the winds are, and just as a front is skirting in here, a greater risk of lower cloud being more extensive and some patchy rain at times. Largely dry for eastern Scotland, further south into England and Wales, maybe a bit of low cloud and a few dregs of rain just on some western coastal fringes once again, but shouldn't come to a great deal. We are just opening the door, though, to that stronger southwesterly and that tropical maritime air that I mentioned at the start, and that just has the risk in the middle second half of the week of just clagging in the western hills and mountains a bit more to lower levels with low cloud. As the humidity builds a bit, the temperature will lift somewhat, but it just has the feeling of putting a bit more in the way of low cloud with time onto many of the western hills, so a bit of a nuisance factor in that sense across the west. Away from any low cloud, it will feel very warm as we head onwards into the second half of the week. You can see where the air is coming from on this chart then through Wednesday into Thursday. High pressure toward the south, low pressure up towards Iceland. It's all coming in as a tropical maritime southwesterly at this stage. Now I suspect those southwesterly winds may well stay quite brisk across Scotland at the latter part of the week. It may even touch gale force across some higher northern summits. We just need to watch those details at a week away. It's just taking a while to get high pressure to build further northwards, but indications still fancy that it does that as we head onwards towards next weekend. So any fronts that are skirting towards the north of Scotland will get pushed away, and essentially a dry story is around. With lighter winds and not quite so much of a southwesterly fetch, we will gradually break up that low cloud across Western Hills, but some areas of cloud are still likely to remain. Some warm sunshine though, and the wind dropping lighter for many, I suspect, as we go into next weekend. Looking a decent story then, but just some frustration, I suspect, in the week ahead with those southwesterly winds just around at times. We shall keep up to date on all those developments. That's been your Planning Outlook in association with Ellis Brigham. Stay right up to date every day on our website for all your latest local details. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.